felt different today. Cooler than it's been in previous days. Not cold exactly, just enough to make you notice it. Enough to make a man sit up a little straighter in the saddle and pay attention to where he is. Some days you ride through weather, other days you ride into thought. Today felt like that. I rode up to the North Carolina mountains, up to an old family graveyard that bears my name. And I'll tell you something, that'll settle a man down in a hurry. Seeing your own name on a place like that, carved into stone, tied to dirt, blood, and memory, it does something to you. Makes you realize real quick, you didn't just appear out of nowhere. You came from somewhere. You came through somebody. And standing there, or even just rolling up to a place like that on your Harley, you start thinking about kinfolk, the ones you knew, the ones you never got a chance to know, people who worked, suffered, prayed, buried their own, kept going, handed off whatever strength they had to the next one in line. That line just kept moving until it got to you. And a hard thought comes. What are you doing with it? That's really what was on my mind today. Not in some dramatic way, just plain and honest. I'm riding up a mountain to a graveyard with my own family name on it, and I'm asking myself, why am I still here? Why do I still get to throw a leg over this bike, fire it up, and ride these roads while so many others don't? That question will stay with you. Because after enough years and enough miles, after enough close calls and losses and changes, you stop assuming you're owed another sunrise. You start seeing life for what it is, a gift, a burden sometimes, a mystery most of the time, but it's still a gift. I think a lot of us riders know that better than most, because on a motorcycle, you're exposed to it all. The wind, the weather, the risk, the silence. There's no insulation out here, no walls, no soft edges, just you, the machine, the road, and whatever truth catches up to you between 1 mile marker and the next. Maybe that's why I ended up thinking so much about God today. Because when you ride into the mountain, into old places, into family ground, it's hard not to feel small, hard not to feel temporary, hard not to know deep down you didn't make yourself, you didn't order up your own breath, you didn't arrange the people who came before you, you didn't lay out the road that brought you here, and yet here you are, still breathing, still riding, still asking questions. I think sometimes we want purpose to come down in a lightning bolt. We want a voice from the clouds, a clear assignment, a title, a role, something that explains everything neat and clean. But life usually doesn't work like that. Sometimes purpose looks a whole lot smaller and a whole lot steadier. Maybe purpose is to endure. Maybe purpose is to remember. Maybe purpose is to carry something forward that would have been lost if you'd stayed quiet. Maybe purpose is just to live true enough that when your time comes, somebody can say you didn't waste what you were given. That's the big difference when you're out riding under a cool mountain sky. And I'll tell you another thing. Why are people interested? Why do people listen? Why do they care what one man on a Harley has to say about while rolling down a 2-lane road? That one will get in your head if you let it. Because I don't think most honest people will ever fully get used to being heard. Not really. If you're halfway grounded, there's always a part of you that wonders why anybody's paying attention at all. But maybe it's not really about you. Maybe people aren't looking for a hero. Maybe they're just looking for something real. That matters now because real is getting hard to come by. Most folks are worn out on Noahs, worn out on performance, worn out on people trying to build themselves into some kind of polished image. So when somebody just gets out there and speaks plain without acting like they've got it all figured out, maybe folks lean in because they miss the sound of honesty. Maybe that's the draw. Not perfection, not status, not answers to every question, just honesty. The man riding and thinking out loud about life, faith, memory, loss, freedom, and the strange mercy of getting one more day to ride. That may be enough, more than enough, maybe. And then that brings me to the next question. What's expected of me? That can be a heavy load if you carry it wrong. Because if you start trying to be everything for everybody, you'll disappear under the weight of it. You'll lose your own voice, trying to meet expectations you never agreed to in the first place. That happens to a lot of people, maybe mostly. I don't think I know the answer. And I don't think it's to reject all expectation either. Some things are expected of a man for good reason. To be honest, to be grateful, to stay humble, to honor what came before him, to use what voice he's been given with some care, to not waste other people's time with nonsense. To remember that being seen is not the same thing as being important. Maybe above all, to stay faithful to the road he's actually been handed, not somebody else's road, his. I think that's what I felt today more than anything. Not pressure exactly, more like responsibility. A quiet one, a steady one. You bear a family name, you carry memories that aren't yours alone. You've been spared long enough to keep riding, so ride in a way that means something. Speak in a way that means something. Live in a way that means something. Not louder, not bigger, just truer. Because one day, somebody else may come up the same mountain road. They may stand where you stood. They may think about the people who came before them. Maybe they'll need most in that moment is the sense that somebody in their line lived honestly and didn't run from the hard questions. I don't know every reason I'm still here. I don't know exactly what my full purpose is. I've gotten old enough to quit pretending I do. But I know this. I'm here today. I'm breathing today. The bike's beneath me. The road's still open. And God's still God. And that ought to be enough to make any man pay attention. Maybe purpose isn't something you always find once and for all. Maybe sometimes it's something you answer daily. In how you ride, in how you speak, in what you remember, in what you honor. And whether you meet this day with gratitude or just drip through it half asleep. Today reminded me not to drift. That old graveyard up in North Carolina mountains, carrying my family name, it didn't give me any answers, carved in stone, but it gave me better questions. Sometimes better questions are worth more than easy answers. So I rode away with that in mind, thinking about kinfolk, thinking about God, thinking about miles I've already lived, and the ones I may or may not have left. And somewhere in all of that, there was peace, not because I solved anything, just because I remembered. I'm part of something older than me. I'm held by something bigger than me. And for whatever reason, I've still got road in front of me. And for now, that's enough.
In the dusty sun, black flames licking where the miles begun. Sitting on this grass, feel the engine hum. More than just machine, yeah, you're the only one. Saddlebags hold secrets, chrome reflects the years. Wiped away the heartache, dried up all the tears. The Panasonic pipe sings a low down tune, carried me through midnight beneath the
That's enough road for one day. I appreciate you riding along with me here on Two Lane Reflections. If this gave you something to think about, come on back for the next ride. There's always another stretch of road, another story, and usually one more thing worth saying out loud. Till then, keep the rubber down, keep your head clear, and I'll see you somewhere down the road.